So yesterday's lecture, we have seen this lookup relationship, and then we created a lookup relationship between the two custom objects, that was hiring manager and the position. And we identify that this hiring manager is your parent object and the position is the child object. We also learn how to create the relationship. So relationship, creation is actually a two-step job, not more than that. As in step number one, first of all, we must identify out of these two objects, out of any two objects, which object is the parent, which object is the child. Now, once you identified this, okay, among the two, which one is the parent, which one is the child, then go to the child object, and that's step number two. You need to go to the child object, and we need to create one relationship field over there. That relationship field, it could be, look up the master detail, could be the hierarchical, whatever. But we actually need to create one relationship field. And with the help of that field, what kind of field? It's a reference field. What it is going to store? It will always store the parent's record ID. Whatever the parent's record is there, it's going to store the record ID of that parent. So this kind of field is actually called as the relationship field. So in this way, we actually create the relationship between two objects. Now, second, what the different types of relationships are there? So basically, there are altogether 6 different types of relationship. 4 of them are directly available inside the Salesforce, like lookup, external lookup, master detail, and the hierarchical relationship. These are the actually 4 relationships that are by default available inside the Salesforce. Now, apart from these 4 direct relationships, we can also create, someone mic is on. So we can also create this many-to-many and one-to-one relationship also. So when they answer, they ask you this question in the interview. Give me a second. So if they ask you in this in the interview, okay, what are the different types of relationship? You must say that there are 6 kind of relationship. There are 6 kind of relationships are there. Try to answer all this. So in the last lecture, we started with the lookup relationship, and we, after creating the relationship between hiring manager and the position, we have make certain observations that related to the lookup relationship. We have seen that these are the observations that we have discussed yesterday. Now we are going to learn master detail, but before master detail, there are 2 things that we need to complete first. Then we will move on to the next kind of relationship, that is master detail relationship. So let me show you some configurations related to the lookup dialog box. Now, what exactly is the lookup dialog box? Let me show you that. See, between hiring manager and the position, let me customize this in a proper way. So between the hiring manager and the position, let me bring the position object just above to this and then save this. So between hiring manager and the position, we have a lookup relationship. Yesterday, what we created. Now, if I go to this position, if I go to the position and if I try to create a new position, so this is the relationship field with which I can select the parent record for this particular, whatever the position I create over here, I can select a hiring manager for this. So whenever I click this particular, lookup icon, this is something called as hiring manager lookup new window. These things are, as a ye thoda sa help jaisa aa raha hai yahan. So if I click this particular icon, one dialog box is going to be open. Now this dialog box, this dialog box, this is actually called as lookup dialog box. Now we have this, we see that these are the names of the different hiring managers and they are being listed out over. Okay, they are being listed out over here. Now let me show you something, let me show you some scenario with this. Let me create a new hiring manager whose name is Alan Abraham. Okay, and this one is the contact number of this. The HR email ID for this is alan@gmail.com. Someone mic is on, so please mute yourself. And he actually belongs to Bangalore. Now let me save this. So just now I created a hiring manager record with all these details. Now let me clone this. And let me have, I'm creating one more I'm creating one more Alan required, Alan Abraham record with the details that are different actually. And this, the second Alan, he actually belongs to Hyderabad. Now let me save this. Now you see, if I go to hiring manager, I can see that I am having two Alan record with me. Let me customize this. Let me have few more columns over here. Let me add these columns and save it. Yeah. So inside my organization, I am having two different HR whose name is same. And this is very common. आपके साथ हुआ होगा कभी ना कभी बचपन में जब आप क्लास में देखे होंगे आपने कि आपके क्लासमेट्स में से कोई दो लोग होंगे जिनके नाम सेम होंगे, होता है कभी ना कभी, है ना? So with the same name, we could have two persons in the organization also. Exactly same. Yes, we have two Alan Abrahams inside this Align Infotech. We have two Alan Abrahams. But these two are the entirely different people. One of them actually lives in the Bangalore. The second lives in the Hyderabad. These are the two separate numbers over there. These are the two separate email IDs also. Now, now we created this. Now let me show you something. I have given one document that I need to create a position called as, senior account manager position. Okay. Maybe on this email, this is the HR manager's email, but this is the HR manager's email to whom this I'm creating the position, and then to this email, one email on this email, one email is going to fire. Rest is the thing. This is a new position, and for this we have number of vacancies to be the 5. This is the contact number, and the location actually is Hyderabad. Now, this is the minimum budget and the maximum budget what is being offered. With this, I need to select the August 23rd. Now, what I want is that inside my document, they mention that we need to allot this position to a recruiting manager called as Alan Abraham. Fine, no problem. So the senior account manager position is going to be handled by the Alan Abraham. That was the thing which was mentioned to me inside the document. So I refer the document when I created all this. Now I'm selecting the hiring manager for this. And once I opened this dialog box, I came to know that there are two Alan Abrahams. Now this creates a confusion, and this creates one ambiguity. I'm not being able to make my selection over here because I can see that with this name, Alan, basically there are two peoples inside the org. Although the entire things has been mentioned, it was mentioned that you need to provide this Alan. We need to provide this position to the Alan, the one who actually belongs to the Hyderabad. But then because I don't know, out of these two Alan, who actually belongs to Hyderabad, I don't know. Because this was a position who was given, who this position is being generated for the Hyderabad. And that is why it was mentioned there in the organization. Yeah, we have two Alan. One of them is belongs to Hyderabad. The second belongs to Bangalore. So, you actually need to allot this position to the Alan who actually belongs to Bangalore, Hyderabad. But with this only, this much of data, with this only the data, what is being, I am able to see this much of data inside the lookup dialog box. And so obviously we are not being in a position to identify, to make this decision to whom I should select. अब मैं तुक्का मारूं और वो तीर लग गया तो वो एक अलग बात है, या फिर मैं इसको सिलेक्ट करके देखूं और फिर ओपन करके देखूं फिर क्या रिकॉर्ड है, वो भी एक अलग बात है. So I can do it in many way, है ना. मैं ऐसा नहीं है कि नहीं कर सकता. Yes, we always have a work around for everything. But अगर मुझे यहाँ पे, for example, what I am demanding is that कि apart from the name, if I could able to see few more columns over here, like if I most importantly, if I along with the name, if the CT of the if the CT of this hiring manager was also displayed, if the CT of the hiring manager was also displayed, I could be able to, or maybe could the email ID, it could be the email ID that was given to me, or could be any other thing, the phone number, the phone number was given to me. If I was having few details here with me, so I would be in a better position to select it out of these two Alan to whom the position should be given. And there is the need where you actually need to customize this dialog box, and you should create few more columns over here. This is the necessity. This is the scenario where actually we should, go and customize the tab, this lookup dialog box. So this was the need actually, this was the need. So let's do it. How to customize the tab bar. Let's learn all this. So, this is the navigation. You need to first go to the parent object for this. So between the position and the hiring manager is actually your parent object. So go to this hiring manager object, go to the hiring manager object, expand the force.com quick access menu over there. Then go to this view object link, go to search layout, or rather I should, go step by step. So I need to go to the hiring manager, expand the force.com quick access menu, click on the view object. Now what? After this, go to the search layout section. You need to go to the search layout section. So find the search layout section from here, rather than scrolling it down and seeing which one is the search layout, just click on the search layout. So you have all this search layout, option over here. From here, you need to find something. You need to edit on the link for the lookup dialog. So first of all, find out the lookup from here. Lookup dialog, see. You have this lookup dialogs and click on this edit link, click on this edit link. Now, presently on the lookup dialog box, what we can see is the hiring manager name only. Now, let me add few more things, like I should add the contact number and this HR email ID also, and the location. These are the three things what I want. Apart from this, I don't want anything. Let me add this column and save it. So now I have done one thing. What I have made, I have actually, lookup. I go to the lookup dialogs and I have make some customizations in the lookup dialogs. Right now, it was, previously it was only having hiring manager names. What I added the contact number and the email ID and the location also. Now see what happens, now see what happens. So inside the position, now if I go to the position and now if I click this, now I see the few more data. So now I'm in a better position because inside my document, it was mentioned that I need to allot this position to the Alan who belongs to Hyderabad. And so I select this Alan and save this record. So guys, this was the requirement. This was the requirement where actually you need to learn to customize the lookup dialog box. This could be one of the requirement. Second thing, let's go forward. And second, a lookup filter configuration. Okay, fine. What is the requirement for this could be? Now, let me tell you one thing. See, we develop all this, we develop this application, HR management application. And for our client called as Align Infotech is our client. And then we release, I don't know whether I have given you this in the assignment or not. Let me, discuss this. Did I give you anything related to the agile methodology? I mean, did I tell you anything that you should find something related to agile? Please tell me whether
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Guys, I'm giving you one assignment, Go and find something. I mean, something in the sense, a better data related to agile methodology. I don't remember where I taught all this. Maybe for your batch, I have not this. Anyway, let me type it somewhere. Agile methodology of software development. Why I'm asking you this? Let me tell you something. See, inside the Salesforce, inside the Salesforce, whatever the whenever a software develop, if I mean, if we have any CSE student over here, I mean, those whose background was software, so the people of this background might have learned one subject called as software engineering. So inside the software engineering, they have learned what are the different kinds of models for the software development. So there were actually so many models, waterfall model, or maybe the linear, or maybe the tangent model. And there is a agile methodology, agile model of the software development. Try to learn this. Why? Try to learn this from the Google. You might have, some good videos on the YouTube for this agile methodology. Try to learn it. Why I'm telling you this? Because see, in the Salesforce, the kind of methodology, the kind of model that we use for the software development is agile methodology. Now, what really happens in the agile methodology? Let me give you one glimpse of this. Let me tell you something for this. What happened, in the agile is that inside the agile, the software is always developed in terms of sprints. Sprints is like a circular development path. I started from this particular point. I started from, I started from this particular point. This is my sprint number 1. Let me show you something. This is what? It's actually the sprint number 1. This is sprint number 1. So I have, so many tasks in this particular sprint. I have so many tasks in this particular sprint. Something has been done over here. Something has been done on this particular area. This is the first. I have made some development on. This is the module 1. I developed this module. I developed this module in the sprint 1. This module goes for the testing. Let me do it like this. This module actually goes for the testing. There are so many kinds of testing, like rigorous testing. Initially, it has been tested by the developers also. सबसे पहले होती unit testing. The first step of every testing is actually unit testing. The unit testing is actually done by someone who created the module. If I created this module, I am the responsible person to perform the unit testing because I know the technicalities of this module. So पहली testing जो सबसे पहला जो करेगा वो मैं ही रहूंगा, ठीक है? Apart from me, there are few more people, those who perform the testing. When I submit my record to him, कि ठीक है, I have done this entire unit testing. Now you can test my module. So this will be done by the software testers. जो software testers होते हैं, they are going to test my module, and they will decide whether my module is achieving the functionalities or not. तो सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टर उसको जो भी है ना, यहाँ पे रिग्रेस टेस्टिंग 2-3 तरह की टेस्टिंग होती है दैट दे यूजुअली परफॉर्म, और उसके बाद में वो देखते हैं कि वेदर दिस कोड इज गोइंग टू बी वर्क फाइन इन द प्रोडक्शन और नॉट. देन फाइनली समथिंग कॉल्ड एज यूएटी टेस्टिंग, यूजर एक्सेप्टेंस टेस्टिंग. So this testing is actually done to understand whether whether the module is actually fulfilling the requirement or not. जो रिक्वायरमेंट दी गई थी उसको फुलफिल कर रहा है कि नहीं. यहाँ पे मकसद ये होता है कि ये देखा जाए कि रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल हुई है या नहीं, ठीक है? जब यूएटी टेस्टिंग हो जाता है, व्हेन द टेस्टिंग हैज बीन डन, यूजर एक्सेप्टेंस टेस्टिंग हैज बीन डन, then we call that the sprint number 1 is completed. Now we call this to be the sprint number 1. Here we actually now involve the client. Now we give this to the user. हमारा जो client है उसको देते हैं, ठीक है? तो अभी मान के चलो कि this is the outcome of sprint number 1. According to the all requirement that aligned people has given to us, we develop one application, this particular CRM what we develop. We also develop the kind of objects that they were telling to us, that they told us that they require hiring manager position and the candidate object. Okay. We also created the number of the fields, whatever they required, whatever they told us, we actually created the fields. And then we also have created the kind of relationships between them. We have tested this relationship with the help of few few testing data. We have created all this test data, and then we created this relationship. Now for now this entire thing is working fine. I have personally tested. That's what the unit testing. I'm the administrator, I'm the developer. I do this, the unit testing. I develop it, perform the unit testing, give it to the testers, software testers. These the people from the testing department, they tested it, they find it okay. It is given to UAT. Then UAT for the user acceptance testing, they test my module against the requirement, because they were having the hard copy of requirement. They test everything against the requirement, whatever the requirement was submitted, whether my module has that functionality or not. So now finally everything was good. So they now submitted to the client. They now submitted to client. And this process is called as CR, client review. Okay. Now the client is someone who is actually testing this environment. Client is actually testing this this module what we have just developed, this particular application, this particular CRM, aligned talent acquisition. This application is now being tested by the client, and this is something called a CR. So presently we are into the CR stage. Now the client report us one thing. अब यहाँ पर अब तक सब सही चल रहा था. Now client report us one thing, that according to their business protocols, according to their business strategies, What they told us that is that, I can, if I go to any position, now I can see that if I develop, if I create a new position, this is something which is being identified the client. Now, if I select this position for the Bangalore, if I select it for the Bangalore, I can give this position to anybody. I can give this position to any one of us. These all are the hiring managers, those who are working for me. And all of them, some of them belongs to Bangalore, some of them belongs to Hyderabad, some of them belongs to Nagpur. Else they all. But they told us that, this is not like that. It is not their business strategy. What they told us is that, okay, we always allot a position to hiring manager based on the locations. That means if the location belongs to Bangalore, if this position is actually generated for the Bangalore, if this position is actually generated for the Bangalore, inside this align infotech, inside our business strategy, inside the protocols what we follow, we always allot this to the hiring manager who actually belongs to Hyderabad. So here, the client review, the client gives this us as the thing. If I click this, if I click this inside this lookup dialog box, I can see the name of all hiring managers, but it should not like that. What client want is that I should only get the name of those hiring manager who belongs to Bangalore. If I select this, if I select this as Hyderabad, I should only get the names of those hiring managers whose location is Hyderabad. If I select this, if I select this as, something else, if I select it as Mumbai, if this location is for the, if this position is for location Mumbai, I should only, get the list of those hiring managers who's handling the Mumbai positions. So presently, this is a bug. Presently, this is a deviation, not bug, because bug is something which stops the program to be get executed. This is actually a deviation. So it is something called as a deviation from the requirement. So we came to know this. This is what the outcome of first sprint. This is the output of first sprint. And then we come to know this. Okay, we have something new in the requirement. The people from this business analyst team, they told us, okay, this is some deviations. If we understood this is a deviation, we understood, yes, now we need to make some changes. So what we do is that we will start another sprint. We will start another sprint, and that sprint will called as sprint number 2. We call this sprint to be the sprint number. We call this to be the sprint number 2. Sprint number 2, like this. Okay. So this is what the agile methodology. So agile methodology give you this opportunity that after, in the middle of the development itself, you can involve the client, because we can give the output of, we can give the outcomes of first sprint to the client, get a CR from him, and then we can see whether we have any deviations or we are onto the protocol. We are as per the requirement we have developed. If we have some deviation, we have this opportunity. We have this opportunity that we can, again we don't require to make the changes in the entire module. We just need to have few changes, and then we can, again we need to submit the. So because if we involve the client, if we involve the client in the middle of the development, if we submit module wise development to the him, so actually we develop something that that is actually more scalable to his requirement. That is something which is closely related to his requirement, and we don't entirely need to recode everything. But the waterfall is what start, if you learn, if you compare this with the waterfall में क्या होता है कि एक ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक पूरा टेस्टिंग तक पूरा कहीं पर भी क्लाइंट इन्वॉल्व नहीं होता है. We do everything in house, and then finally once everything has been done, every in-house activity has been done, right from the development to the testing and everything, we submitted to the client, and client told ki ye nahi chalega, and we started the process from the beginning itself. So this is actually one drawback with the waterfall. So inside the Salesforce, inside the Salesforce, we always follow the agile methodology of the development. So go and Google this all and learn this, go and Google this and learn this, what exactly is the agile methodology, and what is the advantage with the agile, and what are the differences with the agile and the waterfall model, and go and make yourself prepare well at this point. So they could ask you this, they could ask you this, which kind of software model you have used inside the project development, of your organization. So you always, all of you, you always need to give only one answer. What is that? It's actually agile methodology of the software development. Okay. So let's solve this requirement. चलिए इसको solve कर लेते हैं. Okay. So lookup filter. जो अभी आपको ये तो समझ में आ गया कि what was the requirement. Requirement is that the position location name, whenever we select the position location name, according to that, we should have the list of hiring managers. So वो same होना चाहिए. So let me go and do this navigation. So how to put some filters in the lookup dialog? How to put some filters in the lookup dialog box. So this is something called as lookup filter configuration. So first of all, you need to go to the child object for this. That means go to the position object and expand the force.com quick access menu, and then go to the view fields. Okay. Let me do that. So go to this position object, that's the child object. Expand the force.com quick access menu, go to the view fields, go to the custom fields and relationship section. This is the section, custom fields and relationship section. And this is, here we need to find this, here we need to find the lookup field, and then we should edit it, we should edit it. So find the lookup field right here and edit this. Go and edit this. So once you come to this particular interface, here we need to do one thing. We need to put up a formula. And see, everything has been written. Everything has been written. I already have written everything, so don't worry. Go to the lookup filter section. This is the section, lookup filter section. There's a link, show filter setting. Either you can expand by this or you can click on this. Everything has been written. So don't worry about this. Everything has been written. So go to this particular section on this page. Once you landed on this page, go to this particular section called as lookup filter section. Just expand this. Either you can expand by clicking show filter setting, or you can simply click here also. Both of them are going to be the same. Now here you need to enter the filter or the formula. How to enter the formula? Do I need to type anything? No, there's no need to type anything. You just need to select the field. We need that position object, position object and location field. Let me select this. Position object, location, position object. Inside the position object, the location name, insert it. Should be equals to what? Value or field? Actually field, not value. A field from the hiring manager. A field from the hiring manager, the name is location. Insert it. So what the formula I created? I created this formula that whenever I select this location name, inside the position, I select the location name. Now it should be same. It should be same to what? To the hiring manager's name. Right. This is the formula what we selected. And it also has been written, we make to this the position location should equals to hiring manager's locations. Okay, so everything has been written. Everything has been written. So apart from this, required and optional active. This is by default active, but if it is not active, make it active. Okay. If you don't active, this formula is not going to be work. So make it active and save it. Okay, so see, on this particular lookup, one formula field created, and so this is the icon of the formula, So we created one formula, we created one filtered over here, we impose a filter criteria, and so it does looks like this. So let me now go to this position object and see what the difference is there. Let's first see a few hiring managers. I have Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Nagpur. Try to create few records over here. So I actually created one more hiring manager who's from the Bangalore. So I can see that for Bangalore, I have two hiring managers. Okay. Now let me go to the position object. Now let me try to create a position object, a new position object I want to create. And this time the position is actually, sales manager. The email ID is actually abc@gmail.com. Number of vacancies is 45. Contact number is maybe like this. Now see, if now, I mean, without selecting location, without selecting location, if I try to select the hiring manager, अच्छा ये जिनकी लोकेशन ही नहीं है सही है, बिल्कुल सही है, ये वो हायरिंग मैनेजर्स है जिनके लोकेशन नहीं है, सो दैट इज व्हाई नन दैट इज व्हाई नन है तो एक मिनट एक मिनट, let me go back and make some editing over here. So for this Manish, we don't have any location, so let me first select the location. Okay, na Ashto with the Hyderabad, one more record was there. I do have one more record. Ram Kumar. Let me open this Ram Kumar also, and let me give this as a contact number. Our email ID is ram@gmail.com. Let me select the location to be the Nagpur. Let me now save it. Okay, see, ये है validation rule जो backend में काम करता है, मैंने शायद comma दबा दिया. So now we have all this, now we have all these hiring managers who are associated with some location. Now let me, without selecting a location, let me try to select a hiring manager. See, it is actually not showing me any record. It is not showing me any record over here. So that is why you first need to select a location. If I select, Hyderabad, see what happens. I can only see those hiring managers record, those who belongs to Hyderabad. If I select Bangalore as the location of this position, if I select this, if I try to select a hiring manager, I could see only those records of the hiring manager, those who belongs to the location Bangalore, or rather they handle the positions from the Bangalore. If I select this to be the Mumbai, let me show this what happened. So I get this hiring manager from the Mumbai. If I select it to the Nagpur, I can only see the records for the people, those who are responsible for the Nagpur, and let me say this. So sales manager, what happened? Name, what is the error? अच्छा, ये तो एंटर ही नहीं किया हमने, बराबर है, फिर कहाँ से है? This was the mandatory things, ठीक है. So we created this record like this, ठीक है. तो this was the requirement. अगर ये आपकी requirement थी, ना client told us कि भाई ऐसा नहीं चलता है हमारा business का strategy थोड़ा सा अलग है. We actually depending upon the location, we have we handle so many positions. So we have hired and allotted every hiring manager a position. Maybe Hyderabad or Bangalore पे load बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा था because there were so many requirements. And so instead of allotting one guy for this, we actually given this position to two people, Manish and Alan. They are handling Hyderabad, and then Bangalore also we have two people. Why? Because they are having workloads and बहुत ज़्यादा opportunities generate होती है. For rest other cities we have allotted one city is given to one person. This is what the strategy of their business, and now we implemented it. Now we implement this. Okay, before selecting any hiring manager, you first select the location of the position. If you don't select it and if you try to select the hiring manager, it's not going to give you anything. It's not going to give you anything. So that is essentially important to select the hiring manager's position's location first, and then try to select the hiring manager. You will only see the person who actually belongs to that location, who's actually responsible for that location. In this way, you are going to see the results. So this was the requirement. This was the requirement. Okay. Now let's move further for this. Let's start with the master detail relationship. एक 2 मिनट दीजिए जरा सा, मैं थोड़ा सा Okay. Surbi, please share me this host command. Surbi, can you please share me the host command?
Sure, sir.
Surbi, do you know, or should I tell you?
Yes, I know that.
ठीक है, करिए। Surbi, I still didn't get the host. Okay. So this is all what we have learned related to the lookup relationship, and then lookup dialog box and the filter configuration. Now let's move further, and Nikhil, your mic is on, so I'm muting you. Let's learn the master detail relationship. And after this, once I complete this master detail relationship, the assignment for you guys will be, you need to create the differences, concrete differences between this lookup and the master detail relationship. All of you create this relationship differences and learn it. Learn it by heart. Every point of this relationship difference, learn it by heart. Because this is the most repeated question in the interview, differences between the lookup and the master detail relationship. So let's start with this. We need to create a master detail relationship between the object, position, and the candidate. So let me first of all have this object on the schema. We have them on the canvas. So go to the setup, go to the build. You have a direct option for the schema builder over here. So right now I can see that I am having these three objects here. This position, hiring manager, and candidate. So between hiring manager position, yesterday we created this lookup relationship. Today we are going to create a master detail relationship between the position and the candidate. Presently, you see there is no relationship. These two are the two separate individual objects. Position and the candidate, these are the two separate objects. There's no relationship, there's no mapping. Presently, there's no mapping between this position and the candidate. So let's create one association. Let's create a relationship. So again, there are two steps, two steps of creating the relationship every time, whether you are creating this lookup or maybe the master detail, the steps are same, the steps are same. First of all, identify among the position and the candidate, identify which one is the parent, which one is the child. Even yesterday we discussed this. So position is your parent. Why? Because for every position, child is going to apply. If there is no position, there is no candidate. There is no meaning of having the candidate if there is no position. So these candidates, they always apply for the position. They depends on the positions. If the position is there, candidates need to apply. So candidate will be there. But if there is no position, there will be no candidate. So according to the importance of this hierarchy, according to the outcome of this discussion, we came to know that your position is the parent, candidate is the child. See, somehow, let me tell you this. During your career, when you start as an administrator, as a developer, after 3, after 4, or maybe after 5, you need to upgrade yourself every time. Every year, you need to upgrade yourself. And see, upgradation is essentially important in the IT. You cannot be like this कि मैंने आज PD1 ले लिया है अब बस मैं इतना में रहूंगा नहीं. You every year, see, IT, inside IT also, there is something called as self appraisal. So when you get into the organization, you need to fill your self-appraisal form. You need to set up your goals. So you need to make, you need to make sure that you are making substantial development inside your career. When you are into the IT, every year you need to submit something that you have made this, you have from the previous past to this year, I have made this achievement. I have moved one step ahead of this thing. So, when you start your career, there will be a time comes when you actually becomes a consultant, when you becomes an architecture, after becoming this developer, after becoming the senior developer, after becoming the admin, after becoming the senior admin, you actually start becoming the associate consultant, maybe the associate architecture, and then you become the architecture, and then you become the senior architecture. Now, at that level, these are the discussions. Okay, we have these two objects, client doesn't knows this. Client is just telling you need to give me some provisions to store the hiring managers. You need to give me some positions to some database like this. Client will tell according to his language, Hindi, English, Marathi, whatever the language he knows, he is going to tell the requirement. We need to interpret that. We need to interpret, and then we need to decide what are the major things that he told us, and how we technically is going to implement this. So below की जो team है उसको समझाना अपना काम होता है boss. So then we need to say, okay, we need to create 3 objects. ये client ने नहीं बोला. This is our experience. What is we are telling this between hiring manager position and the candidate. We should establish the relationship between hiring manager position. We should have this lookup between position and the candidate. We should have the master detail. See, the position should be the parent, candidate should be the child. We are discussing this. Why? According to the nature of the data flow. ठीक है, अभी तो आप नीचे पे लेवल पे जाओगे तो यू गेट दिस एज एन डॉक्यूमेंट, बट देयर ऐसा हमेशा एक डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं रहेगा. There will be one time come when you are the authority of creating that document. You will be the person who going to create this document. That time you need to discuss this. कि देखिए पोजीशन नहीं रहेगा तो कैंडिडेट का कोई वजूद ही नहीं होता है. हायरिंग मैनेजर नहीं रहेगा तो पोजीशन कौन हैंडल करेगा. सो इन दिस वे हायरिंग मैनेजर इज द पेरेंट, पोजीशन इज द चाइल्ड. पोजीशन नहीं रहेगी तो कैंडिडेट किसको अप्लाई करेगा. इन दिस वे पोजीशन इज द पेरेंट, कैंडिडेट इज द चाइल्ड. तो देखिए आज तो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ, टुडे आई एम योर डॉक्यूमेंट, मैं वो हूँ जिसको आप फॉलो कर रहे हो. बट एक वक्त ये आएगा जब आपको ये खुद हो कि ये डिसीजंस लेने पड़ेंगे. ठीक है, तो क्रिएटिविटी बढ़ाइए, सोच का दायरा बढ़ाइए, सोचने की दायरी जो अपनी क्षमता है उसको इंक्रीज करिए. बिकॉज 1 2 3 4 5 बस इतना वक्त काफी होता है सेल्सफोर्स में अपग्रेड करने के लिए. 10 10 साल नहीं लगते यहाँ पे. हर 2 साल बाद आप कहीं ना कहीं ऊपर पहुंच जाते हो, आपकी हायरार्की ऊपर हो जाती है. ठीक है, आपके जो पॉइंट्स है वो बढ़ जाते हैं, आपकी ग्रेड बढ़ जाती है. सिर्फ सैलरी नहीं बढ़ती, बाकी सब चीजें और भी बढ़ती. तो दैट इज वाई विद दिस ऑल डिस्कशन हमने देखा और हमने इन तीनों ऑब्जेक्ट की नेचर को समझा. हमने समझा कि ये डेटा फ्लो में किस तरह से रिएक्ट करने वाले हैं. एंड देन वी अंडरस्टैंड बिना हायरिंग मैनेजर पोजीशन कोई काम की नहीं, बिना पोजीशन कैंडिडेट कोई काम का नहीं. एंड सो hiring manager top of the authority, position below to that. Between hiring manager position is should be the parent, but between position and the candidate, position should be the parent, candidate should be the child. So this is the outcome of all this discussion guys. और एक वक्त में ये आपको करना पड़ेगा आगे चल के. आगे चल के एक वक्त ऐसा है जब कोडिंग नहीं करनी पड़ेगी. एक वक्त ऐसा आएगा जब आप इन सब चीजों से हट जाओगे, एंड देन यू विल हैव ऑल दिस डिस्कशंस ओनली. तो 3 4 5 साल बस इतना काफी होता है सेल्स फोर्स में. तो ऐसा वक्त आएगा तब हम ये चीज करेंगे. ठीक है, तो चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. तो राइट नाउ वी अंडरस्टूड दैट पोजीशन शुड बी द पेरेंट. स्टेप नंबर 1, आइडेंटिफाई द पेरेंट चाइल्ड. यस, वी आइडेंटिफाई पोजीशन इज द पेरेंट, कैंडिडेट इज द चाइल्ड. नाउ वंस यू आइडेंटिफाई व्हिच वन इज द पेरेंट एंड द चाइल्ड, step number 2, step number 1 was this: we identify position is the parent and candidate is the child. This was step number 1. Step number 2, go to the child object. Who is the child? Candidate is the child. Create a field inside the child object. What type of field? A relationship field. This time we are going to create a master detail relationship. So let's go to the child object, the candidate object. Yeah, let's go to the candidate object and create a field. How to create a field? Expand the force.com quick access menu. Okay, ठीक है. Expand the force.com quick access menu and then create a new fields. Someone among your class was telling me कि उसको ये नहीं दिख रहा है. Who is she? कोई कह रहा था मुझसे कि she was not able to get this force.com. किसने कहा था? आप में से किसी ने?
Self survey.
सुरभि, okay. सुरभि कैसे locate किया? Did you did this? Go to this.
So there is one unchecked visible box by
Go to
default.
personal.
Then I checked it. Yes.
I think it's
I did
advanced
it.
or maybe approver setting. दोनों में से कोई एक setting शायद यही है. So there was one unchecked box. ठीक है, तो एक unchecked था. Quick access menu कौन सा? ये वाला
Quick
था कि कोई
access
दूसरा?
menu.
यही था, है ना?
No, sir. Quick access menu is unchecked.
ये अनचेक था, आपने इसको चेक कर दिया, राइट?
Yes, sir.
हाँ,
Yes.
तो अगर किसी केस में post.com क्विक एक्सेस मेनू नहीं दिख रहा है तो ये इस सेटिंग्स को देखेंगे आप. आई विल गो टू दिस सेटिंग, गो टू हियर, गो टू माय सेटिंग्स, expand this personal, and inside the personal you have advanced user setting. Okay, poor authentication. Yes, inside the advanced user setting, go to this edit and see whether this option quick access menu has been checked or unchecked. If you uncheck this, you don't see this force.com quick access menu. So you need to check it, save it. So, okay, fine.
Yes, I had gone through the same and then I get it.
Now you are, the force.com is visible to your all, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So let's go to the candidate object because candidate is our position object, and let's go to this force.com, create a new field inside the position object. What kind of field? A relationship field. What relation? Master detail relations. Okay. Go and click this next button. Now, tell me among these two, who's the parent? Yes, who's the parent? Candidate is child. Who's the parent? Position is the parent. So let's select this, the position object. Let's select the position, and then click the next button. Go with the default selection. Go with as it is. Make it next. Observe one thing, observe one thing. Before I actually create one position, observe one thing. If I go to candidate, just observe one thing. Candidate is having one record. Candidate is your child object. Candidate is having one record, Abhinav Sharma. Just observe it. Just observe it. Okay. Now go and click the next button. Make it visible for every profile user. Yes, it is visible. Go and click the next, and save it. Cannot create a master detail relationship. हमने तो कोई गलती नहीं करी. But why? See the reason. सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है. You cannot create a master detail relationship on the existing custom object if the record already exists. If the record already exists. If your child record is having a previous data, one old record, Abhinav Sharma is actually been, inside the child record, we have one record, Abhinav Sharma. We cannot create this master detail relationship. So yesterday we written this point. Yeah, lookup relationship can be formed between the two objects, even though if the child is having a previous record, if the child is having some previous record, even though you can create lookup relationship, but upon creating a master detail relationship, if the child contains some previous record, old records, then master detail relationship cannot be directly created. This is the difference. When we create a master detail relationship, we actually should go to the child and see whether the child is having some previous record or not. If it is having some records, you cannot create the master detail relationship directly. So what is the approach for this? Actually, what is the right approach is this. You must first create a lookup relationship, and then you convert this relationship, change the relationship type to the master. Basically, this is the right approach. First create a lookup relationship and then convert it to the master. लेकिन कैसा है कि डिस्कशन में बहुत आगे है, अभी नहीं आएगा. Converting a relationship, what we are going to learn, I have already listed it out. Converting the lookup to the master and the master to lookup, that is what we are going to learn. It's अभी काफी लंबा है, आगे चल के आने वाला है. Right now we are not in a position to see this, how to convert a relationship from lookup to master. अभी नहीं कर सकते हम. हालांकि अप्रोच यही है, लेकिन I am using the second approach. There are two possible solutions to create the master detail in this case. When we have some old records inside the child object, first of all, we cannot create the master detail relationship directly. So there are two possible solutions for this. First is, second, what we have already discussed, this is the right approach. Create a lookup relationship and then convert the relationship from lookup to master. We are going to learn this, we are going to learn this a few days later. But right now, I'm applying a wrong approach and you should never use this approach. But presently, जैसा कि मुझे आपको relationship समझानी है, that is why I'm doing it in very wrong way. You never use this approach. Never, never, never. Remove all child records. Delete everything from the child object. Please don't do that. I am deleting this because I am now intended only to create the relationship. That is why I am deleting this child record. I'm making this child to be the empty. There is no such record inside the child. Now once again, let's do the same thing. Expand force.com quick access menu, create a master detail relationship field, click the next. It is related to the positions. Position, click the next. On the position, press this tab, click the next, go with the default selections. Make it visible for every profile user. Let it be landed on the default layout and save it. Now see the relationship is created. Yes, we have just created inside the custom relationship section. You will get this. A master detail relationship just now we created with the name called as position. Now, if you want to verify, just go to the position, just go to the candidate object. Now try to create a new position. Also we can, see it from the schema builder. Now let's close everything from here. Just refresh this. See, a new position, a new relationship has been created. A relationship between the position and the candidate. What sort of relationship? Bring your cursor over here. It's a master detail relationship. What is the right pronunciation? The pronunciation is actually key. You should first say the name of child, then the parent. So it is a master detail relationship from candidate to the position. Okay. So we created this relationship. Now let's go back and see how does it looks like. This is the position. This is the relationship field. And see, inside the lookup, yes, a red mark nahi tha because lookup was optional. Lookup field, lookup relationship was optional. You can save a child record without selecting a parent, but here it is not like that. Here it is not like that. आपको parent select ही करना पड़ेगा. You need to select the parent. You need to select the parent. And this is one more difference. We have already written this. Let me go back to this. Yeah, in the lookup relationship, the lookup field is optional. That is for the child. A child may have or may not be associated with the parent. But inside the master, selecting a parent is essentially important. Okay, this field is a required field. Relationship field is required, which means that for every child, there must be one parent. Try to store this without selecting a parent. It is not going to give you this permission. Let me have this Abhinav Sharma with this apex is having this apex, and then qualification is this BE, and this is the contact number is having. The email ID is actually abhi@gmail.com. This PAN number is something, but this is unique, so I'm making some changes over here. This passport number is this. I'm making this also some changes. His current status is this. The notice period is immediate. He's expecting 6 lakhs, and the experience is. Now, if I try to save this, without selecting a parent, if I try to save it, it is giving me some error. On this particular field, you must enter a value. So, relationship field inside the master detail is essential. And for every child, you must have a parent. So, select one parent, select one parent. This particular Abhinav Sharma is applying for the sales manager. Now, try to save it. So, record save. So this is these are some differences between lookup relationship and the master detail relationship. So in the master detail relationship, reparenting option is not by default available. Yesterday I demonstrated this. If I go to this position, Here the thing, see, here we have this logged. That means a position is the parent, and we cannot change this sales manager. This is not editable. This is not editable. So you cannot reparent this Abhinav Sharma to any other position. Once the parent selected, we don't have this option by default. There are settings which we can do that, but reparenting option is not available by default. Not available by default. We can make this, we can make this available, but it is not available by default. Now, whenever a parent record is deleted, all the associated childs are also deleted. Let me show you that also. Abhinav has applied for the sales manager. What happens if I go to the sales manager? If I go to the sales manager position, let me go to this position, sales manager. Let me open this position, sales manager, and let me delete this position, sales manager. Position gone. What about the candidate? Let me go to the home page of the candidate. No candidate. There is no candidate. Why? Parent delete, candidate also delete. This is called as cascade deletion, and cascade deletion is a feature of master detail. This is not the feature of lookup. Inside the lookup, if you delete the parent, only the parent is gone. Child is there. Go to the recycle bin. Let's have this position once again back to the position object. Let me undelete this. Now I have this position sales manager. What about the child? Let me refresh this. We got this Abhinav Sharma back, and now he's also with the relationship is also. So Abhinav Sharma is back, the sales manager back, Abhinav Sharma also back. So sharing and security setting is not independent. They are completely dependent on the parent. Sharing setting and the security setting on the child is completely depends on the parent. Sharing of the parent applies on the child. Security of the parent applies on the child. Okay. And yes, the important point, in a case of master detail, a child can associate it with two parents only. If I I created this to be a candidate as the child is associated with the position in master detail. It can also be get associated with the hiring manager also in the master detail. If we try to associate with the report in the master detail, will give you one error. One child master lookup में हो सकता है, ठीक है? One child can be associated with two parents only in the master detail. That's it. उसके बाद फिर तीसरी रिलेशनशिप जो भी बनेगी वो लुकअप बनेगी. इसके बाद कोई और रिलेशनशिप मास्टर डिटेल नहीं हो सकती, ठीक है? And roll up summaries can only be applied on the master detail. We are going to learn what is a roll up summary. It cannot be created on the lookup. There is only one lookup relationship where we can create roll up. That is what I am going to tell you. बाकी हाँ, एक इंपॉर्टेंट, अब यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट डिस्कस करना है मुझको. पेरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट और चाइल्ड ऑब्जेक्ट के बारे में पहले तो ये पॉइंट अच्छे से समझ लो. In case of master detail, if you are creating a master detail, write down this. If you are creating the master detail, inside the master detail relationship, standard object cannot be a child. In the master detail relationship, standard object cannot be a child. Standard object cannot be a child. ठीक है? Standard object could be parent only. Parent रह सकता है. हाँ, custom object क्या? तो custom object parent भी रह सकता है, custom object child भी रह सकता है. लेकिन master detail relationship में standard object cannot be child. It could only and only be the parent. ठीक है? चलो, ये बात अच्छे से समझ लीजिए. अब मान के चलिए सिनेरियोस पर डिस्कशन करते हैं. ठीक है, सिनेरियोस पर डिस्कशन करते हैं. आप आर्किटेक्ट हैं, आप कंसल्टेंट हैं, आप सीनियर सेल्सफोर्स डेवलपर हैं, और दो तीन ऑब्जेक्ट्स आपके सामने में लाई गई और आपको डिसाइड करना है कि अब रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करना है बिटवीन अकाउंट एंड कॉन्टैक्ट, बिटवीन अकाउंट एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज, बिटवीन केसेस एंड द रिपोर्ट्स. ठीक है, बिटवीन रिपोर्ट्स एंड द डॉक्यूमेंट्स यू नीड टू क्रिएट द रिलेशनशिप. अब जब हम रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट कर रहे हैं भाई साहब, दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं, वन ऑफ देम शुड बी द पेरेंट, अनदर शुड बी द चाइल्ड. अब आप खुद ही सोचो. ठीक है, अब आपको कोई नहीं बताएगा, आप खुद ही सोचो कि अगर मैं रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करना चाहता हूं बिटवीन केसेस एंड द रिपोर्ट्स, एक को पेरेंट बनाना है, दूसरे को चाइल्ड बनाना है. सबसे पहली बात ये बताओ कि केस और रिपोर्ट ये दोनों ऑब्जेक्ट स्टैंडर्ड है या इसमें से कोई तो भी कस्टम है? केस और रिपोर्ट, चलो बताओ जरा सा.
स्टैंडर्ड.
दोनों स्टैंडर्ड है, कोई शक नहीं है, दोनों स्टैंडर्ड है. अब ये बताइए कि दो स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट की बात चल रही है और एक को चाइल्ड बनाना है, तो क्या आप यहाँ पे मास्टर डिटेल रिलेशनशिप ले सकते हैं?
नो.
No.
कभी नहीं लिख सकते। याद रखिए कि whenever there is a requirement, अरे माइक ऑफ करो प्लीज। सो whenever there is a requirement कि आपको स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट को चाइल्ड बनाना है, ठीक है, तो वी डोंट हैव एनी ऑप्शन अदर देन द लुकअप, ठीक है, क्योंकि लुकअप ही ऐसी रिलेशनशिप है जिसमें चाइल्ड स्टैंडर्ड रह सकता है, क्योंकि मास्टर डिटेल में तो बड़ा स्ट्रिक्ट है। मास्टर डिटेल में अगर स्टैंडर्ड है तो पेरेंट ही रहेगा, स्टैंडर्ड कभी भी चाइल्ड नहीं बन सकता, है ना। तो इस तरह से देखिए सिनेरियोज बनते हैं, इस तरह से सीनियर सेल्सफोर्स डेवलपर आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट बनाता है, कहता है अपॉर्चुनिटी और रिपोर्ट के बीच में रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करो, कंपल्सरी लुकअप रिलेशनशिप क्रिएट करो। क्यों? क्योंकि उसे पता है कि ये दोनों स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट है, इसके बीच में मास्टर डिटेल क्रिएट नहीं हो सकता, ठीक है। आपको जो डॉक्यूमेंट मिला आपने उस पर काम कर लिया, लेकिन एक पल को तो सोचो कि ऐसा ही क्यों, ऐसा उसने मास्टर डिटेल क्यों नहीं क्रिएट करने बोला, क्योंकि मास्टर डिटेल में चाइल्ड ऑब्जेक्ट कभी भी स्टैंडर्ड नहीं हो सकता, ठीक है। ऐसा ही एक सिनेरियो और हम डिस्कस करेंगे रोल अप समरी के बाद। चलिए, सो टुडे आई एम गोइंग टू स्टॉप इट राइट नाउ। और आप अब ये हो चुका है, तो अब आपके ऊपर सबको, सभी लोगों को डिफरेंस क्रिएट करने हैं। डिफरेंस 2 कॉलम में बनाइए बाकायदा, रिलेशनशिप डिफरेंसेस बिटवीन लुकअप मास्टर, और याद करें, ठीक है। उसको अच्छे से हर पॉइंट जो भी आप लिखें उसको याद कर लीजिए, बिल्कुल सभी को सारे पॉइंट ऐसे नींद में उठा के पूछो रात के 2 बजे तो भी याद आने चाहिए। बिल्कुल इस तरह की पढ़ाई शुरू कर दो अब आप, ठीक है। चलो स्टॉप करते हैं रिकॉर्डिंग।